So what I'm going to show you is another type of stoichiometry problem. It's a little more complicated. It's called a limiting reagent problem. And what you're going to need to do is kind of one extra step. The first thing is, how to identify if I have a limiting reagent problem. Well, when you read the problem, what you're going to find is the amounts of both reagents are given. So that's a key that, all right, I got to do something a little bit more complicated to solve this. There's always going to be one reagent that is going to determine the outcome or the amount of product produced, and that is called the limiting reagent. The other reagent is called the reagent in excess because there's more of it than you need for that reaction to take place. So I'm going to go back, starting off with the balanced equation. 16 silvers plus S8 molecule is going to go to 8 silver sulfides. All right? Now, read the problem. I have 3 grams of silver given, and I have 3 grams of sulfur given. Only one of those is the correct amount that will produce the right amount of silver sulfide. And what I'm going to show you is the down and dirty way to always get the correct answer. Okay, so what we're looking for is how much silver sulfide is going to be produced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for both the reagents separately. So I'll start off with the silver. I have 3 grams of silver. 1 mole of silver, according to the periodic table, weighs 107 grams. I'm going to get 8 moles of silver sulfide for every 16 moles of silver that I use. And silver sulfide has a gram formula mass of 107 plus 107 plus 32, 246 grams for every 1 mole of Ag2S. Alright? I'm going to do another calculation, but this time I'm going to solve for the other reagent. So again, I'm starting off with 3 grams, but that's because that's how much S8 was given in the problem. So 3 grams of S8. The GFM of S8, well, that's 32 times 8. It's 256 grams. 256 grams. I'm going to get 8 moles of Ag2S for every 1 mole of sulfur. Again, Ag2S weighs 256 grams for every 1 mole of Ag2S. Now, I'm going to solve these. Okay, solve them separately. The correct answer to this problem will be the amount that is the least. So for the first one, it's 3 divided by 107 times 8 divided by 16 times 246. This gives me, I can hardly write it in there, but 3.4 grams. Right? Now, check the other one. 3 divided by 256 times 8 times 246 gives 23 grams. Alright? The one that is in the least amount, right there, is the correct answer. Now this is kind of the normal way that a reaction would take place, because you're trying to ensure that all the silvers are going to find all the sulfurs, and you want to maximize your yield of silver sulfide. So you're always going to put in the more of the substance that is the cheapest, and obviously sulfur is a heck of a lot cheaper than the silver. What this also determines is the silver, because that was the correct answer, that is the amount, 3.4 grams of silver sulfide that I could get, it means the silver was the limiting reagent or reactant. And further, since the sulfur, there was way more sulfur in there than I needed, it is determined that the sulfur is called the reactant in excess. Alright? So anyway, we're going to be working on these. There are other ways. Some of you guys are going to be able to solve them straight off of moles. Just be careful that you get the balanced equation properly and the ratios all right. But this way of solving limiting reagent problem where the amounts of both reactants are given, you solve them separately. You take the answer that is the smallest. That is your correct answer. The smallest amount of product comes from the reagent that was the limiting reagent, and that's it.